Hello, and welcome back. After a little bit of a hiatus to another video, me, RogueDubz, we're gonna come back with a tier list. This is inspired by RogueDubz. I saw his tier list. Some things I disagree with. Others, I think he may have accidentally, I don't know, going based off of how he phrased some things, I'm like, well, maybe you should have brought it down some. Anyways, this is basically kind of just what I think, where I believe some of the treasures belong. We're basically the same. He does have way more experience, so in the game, like, he does traversal level 6s, even the secret traversal level 6. I haven't even done a traversal level 6. But I've been wanting to do a tier list. So we're gonna rank the treasures, and I hope I don't screw this up. Well, I mean, I'm gonna piss people off, but we're gonna start with the Cherry Blossom Armor. Alrighty, so Cherry Blossom Armor, it just increases your defense by 100% and then reduces evasion distance by 10%. It's not terrible. It's fairly good. 100 extra defense up until, I want to say it was the update with Transcendence, or like the Transcendence update. I want to say it was that one. It used to reduce your speed by 25%, and that was really bad. It was only really good on very select characters that wanted the defense, like Deanne Way. The only one that comes to my mind. I know there's like a few others, but it wasn't all that great. I think it's C. It's one of those, there are other options where I'm like, you know what, I guess I'll take this. It's not one that I really want to take. I think if you're doing C, D, or, well, C or D, you're kind of picking it because it's the best option available to you. Reduces the evasion distance, is kind of a pain, but by 10%, you get, what is it? I think it's, let's see, 4, 6. I have to go back and look, but if you get about 6 or so speed, if you're getting around that benchmark, that threshold of speed on any given run, you're gonna have 2 or 3 dodges, and you're gonna be able to get out of there. And in the dodge, you have iframes. So I don't think the distance is really all that noticeable, being just 10%. I think if it was 25%, I think it would go to D, but 100% increase to defense is always very good, in my opinion. It's always preferable. We have red hair next. So it shortens summoning cooldown for slots 2, 4, and 6 by 50%, and then makes danger zones appear more. That is what we call nothing but good things. That is, objectively, there's like nothing, I see nothing wrong with this. There's nothing wrong with what I see on the screen. It's in red for danger zones appear more, but that's a positive. That's a positive. It is always and ever a positive to have danger zones, even with lackluster characters. It's just great, especially when you take into account just the summoning. I mean, that 50% is fantastic. If you get 12 charm, I mean, you get free summons. And, you know, your summon slots 2, 4, and 6. Granted, you're not really using 6 too much. Usually your 2s and 4s, and most likely your 2s. It's just good. It's one of those, like, there's really only a few times where you're not picking this treasure. And that is if there's another treasure on the board. We all know which that one is. So if you're picking that one, probably not picking this one. This is one where I disagree with RogueDubz. It's great. Don't get me wrong. It's fantastic. It increases your hero rerolls at Crystal Saplings by 30, which is just a flat 30. There is, if you're doing Origins mode, which I haven't done that one too much, but if you do Origins mode, and let's say you get this treasure first, and you run into Deng Zhao emblem, or banner, I think it is, and he takes your treasures, that's like 3 free crystal beads, and you get to keep the rerolls at the Crystal Saplings. It doesn't take those. So it is one to kind of just like, oh, give me 30. Oh, cool, I found him. Now I got 3 extra crystal beads. So I'm not really going to put that and take that into account for the ranking. It's still good. He put it in S. I think it's just A. It might be bottom of S, top of A. I don't know. It is one of those. There's so many other ways to get rerolls, especially with our companions. 30 can be a lot, and it can really help get a build down if you're really struggling. But it is one of those last case scenario things, and more of a panic button, in my opinion, in those instances where you can't find what you're looking for. Because I know there's records of sin that increase your rerolls. Again, off the top of my head, regular Warriors Abyss Liu Bei, not Origins Liu Bei, but regular Liu Bei, as a companion gives you 8 rerolls, which is not, it's pretty good. And then you have, at least I have a Records of Sin. I know there has to be more or stronger ones, but I have a Record of Sin that gives me 3. I think it's 3 rerolls at Crystal Saplings. So the fact that it's 30, I wish it did something else. It just feels a little lackluster. I don't know how else to explain that. I just think it is one of those, if I have the option between Hashibi Disc and a Cherry Blossom Armor and something else on this list, I'm going to take the Hashibi Disc, but there have not been that many times where I really need the rerolls. That is with the caveat, but I have not done Traversal level 6. I haven't fought Ruinous Goma, or any of, I've done like maybe 1 or 2 run-throughs on Origins mode. So this is just regular playing the game, highest being Traversal level 5. I don't think it's all that worth it. Now, maybe after I do some runs on Traversal level 6, and we get all that, I experience that, maybe I think the Hishibi Disc does have a little bit more strength the higher you go and the more limited you are, and so you don't have that many options. So it's the one where I think A, and in those cases maybe S, is definitely warranted. I don't think so as of right now. That is just how I have played the game. Okay, Compass. Oh, one of my favorites. Increases selectable portals by 1, increases hero rerolls at Crystal Saplings by 10. I think Compass is S tier. I think it is above Hishibi Disc. Selectable portals, it's just great. I don't know if it was this update or if it was another update, but it's now on higher difficulties or traversal levels. I don't know where it starts because I didn't know about this, and I only know it because RogueDubz says it in his videos and also in the tier list that he did, which I will link in the description. Anyways, he says it doesn't have that much importance anymore. It's so good. I think he put it at A if I remember correctly. I'm pretty sure it was A. I still disagree. I think it's still S because that one more portal, well, yes, you're guaranteed to have at least a Crystal Sapling. You don't have to worry about running into the instance of having a Peach Tree and Karma Embers, or a Peach Tree and a Cauldron, and you have very little Tears of Blood. So you're always going to get a Crystal Tree or Crystal Sapling, but now you have the option of getting a third option, and you might still get screwed out of that, but I think it's still good. I think it is bottom of S, and maybe I could be, convinced to put it to top of A, but if I have the option between Compass and Hishibi Disc and some other irrelevant one, I'm taking Compass. I'm just taking Compass. Unless I have absolutely screwed up and just dived bond early on trying to reroll and I have no rerolls, maybe I'll take the Hishibi Disc. There have been times where I take the Hishibi Disc over the Compass where I'm like, you know what? I have enough options available for me. I'll take the Hishibi Disc and I'll back up on the Compass. Or, if I'm using the 1 or 2 heroes that if you don't get hit during the phase, you'll get a third option. Maybe. What do we got here? We got 4-wheeled chariot. This one adds 100% of your speed to your defense and increases your speed by 15%. I don't really pick it too often. His reasoning And I have to, to kind of default to it. I would agree. I see how he plays the game and all that stuff. I think he put it in A or B. I can't remember where he put it. But it is one of those, having increased speed is great, 100%. And then it's one, I think I'm going to put it in B. Obviously, I think there's arguments to be made for A. But again, for where I am, how long I've played it, if I have other options, I'm going to pick other options. Very little times do I really want to pick the four-wheeled chariot. Unless I'm using Zhu Liang. No, not Zhu Liang. Yeah, Zhu Liang. I think that's the guy with the fan. He has the attribute stuff. I don't know. I'm not gonna hold my breath to see if I'm gonna add in the character models. It's so time consuming. Yeah, I mean, increased speed is great, and then the little bit added to your defense, which is about like 150 or so, something like that. We'll just say 150. It's probably gonna be a little less, maybe a little more. I might be completely off, but it's around that. It's only adding 100 or so to your defense. It's not that much more defense. It is enough. Like 100 more defense is better than no defense, and defense is so lacking that any amount of defense you get is really preferable. So I think B is fine, because again, there are just, if I have any of, I have 2 of these 3 plus this, even just these 2 plus this, like I'm gonna pick different options. I might not pick this. In certain instances, I might even pick the Cherry Blossom. The Green Bag Book. This one, I think, is completely different than how it was when the game first came out. So it increases your health recovery rate by 50%, and then you replenish 10% of your health when you activate a symbol. Now, this one, I don't think I've ever picked. Very few times have I picked the Green Bag Book. Because, and I know the reason as to why I've never picked it, I've never played in Traversal Level 6. And I think this is where that book shines, is in Traversal Level 6, or the secret version, the harder version. That's the only time this book is good. And when it's there, it's good. It's also still a panic button, though. Because there's Oichi that gives you 30% healing when you activate a symbol. Also, I have to assume if you pick up any peaches on the floor, not peach trees, but peaches on the floor on the ground that enemies drop, that's going to be a 50% increase. And basically anything that heals your health, you're going to get a 50% buff to that, which is great, 100%. But if you're not playing on the higher traversal levels where you heal upon level up, this one, like, why are you picking this? This one has a very niche spot. Very good niche spot. But nonetheless, I think it's C. Again, if you're playing on that Traversal Level 6 or the secret version, I think it's very good. Otherwise, there's just so many other ways to heal during a battle. Again, through leveling up, through just the character traits and all that stuff that will heal you. Oh, what is her name? She's one of the Jinn. I don't think it's Chihuahua or whatever her name is. It might be. It's the one that I can't pronounce. I think it's the one that looks like Chihuahua. Every time I look at her name. But yeah, we're going to say C. Yeah, I don't think there's been an instance where I've ever picked the Green Bag Book. In the over 400 hours I've played on the game, not even a little bit. Going on to Painting of Canaan? There's gonna be a lot of mispronunciations in this video, but this one, that's kind of cute little picture of, I have to assume, Buddha or Canon. Revives you when your health reaches 0 up to 1 times. This one is very beginner friendly, or, don't get me wrong, when you're doing the higher traversal levels, traversal level 6. I think it's gonna go right in S. I think I'm gonna just say S. And the reason I'm gonna say this is it's just that emergency treasure. Maybe it's not the first one you pick, or maybe it is the first one you pick, but it is one of those, actually, I think I'm gonna put it, I'm gonna pick Hashibi Disc over Painting of Canaan, but I think this one is stronger than Hashibi Disc. That's kind of how I'm ranking them, is which one I'm going to pick, but this one is stronger, I think. Why it might be an honorary S tier. It might even be kind of like in between. because it's good for many reasons. I guess let's go for the cons first. There are other ways that you can get revives. Oichi, yeah, I think I said Oichi earlier. I meant Akuni for getting healing. I think I said Oichi. Akuni's the one that heals you. Oichi gives you, when she's transcended, gives you 2 revives, which is great. So you have her 2. You can get a record of Sin that revives you, so that's 3. There's also, what is it? Memories of the Dead. It's not very much reliable, it's not great to rely on that. And you get a guaranteed 3 if you get the Panic of Cannon. I just think Oichi is a better option because you can get her, in theory, every run. Panic of Cannon, luck of the draw if you're really, really needing it. So I'm going to say it's A because when you need it, you need it, and it is good. This next one, just going to be honest, guys. Just going to be honest. Imperial Seal. Not a fan of this one, we'll just say, but so we have the Imperial Seal. Charges the symbol gauge by 30% when you take hits from enemies. Guarantees that danger zones will appear for 5 phases. Which that aspect of it is really good. This one, again, because I don't play on higher difficulties, there's no reason to have a symbol gauge charge when you take hits from enemies, or an increase to that. From what I have gathered, it's very, very important to get this on higher traversals. You haven't noticed I've never made a fucking tier list before. Okay, we're gonna put this one down here too. So we're gonna just have this one, Limbo, Holding Judgment. I have not used them enough, and maybe they'll be very good. Imperial Cell more than the Green Book. The Green Bag Book, I think C is still pretty good for what it is, but Imperial Seal, because I don't really assemble as often as other people, or as RogueDubz, and it really looks like it's very viable. When I need it, I usually have it, or I can get it within seconds of going, oh, we're gonna need it. So again, we're gonna just have this Holding Judgment, because realistically, I kind of want to put it in D. I know it's not sealed or seal worthy, but something that's coming up that is seal worthy. One, definitely, we already know where this one's going. Dojigiri Yasusuna Sword. Increases attack or charge attacks by 5% every time you clear a phase up to a maximum of 100%. So basically, after 20 phases. And then it reduces your maximum health by 20%. I don't think anybody's going to be surprised when I say you're sealing this, because each one's 4 and you would have 16 sealing points. So being able to seal 4 treasures to only have the option of 20 of them, basically essentially getting rid of a 1/6 of the treasures, very good. And this is one of them. There's no reason you're ever picking this stupid sword. You definitely don't want to reduce your maximum health ever, realistically, especially in the higher difficulties, especially at traversal level 6, I would imagine. And then the attack from charge damage, well, like, even if this is the first option of treasure that you pick, you wouldn't even notice it. So by the time you get this, you've already gone through 7 phases plus a boss. You now have to go through, and that's if you get it in the first realm, you now have to go through Magadori. So there's 8. You now have to get through Bahama Mama, as I always call it, the Wraith character. Every single time, unless I'm looking at the name, I can't ever remember that stupid boss. But the third boss, you have to get through him, and then into, I have to assume, near the clear phase 2. By the time you're at the 4th realm, on phase 3, you now have 100% attack for charge attacks. Well, like, granted, yeah, you're getting it right when you need it, but if you do not get it as the first boss treasure, you're never getting the full benefit of this sword. You're just not. Because you have to clear a phase. You're just not getting it. Because if you get it by Magadori, there's not 20 phases left. You've already gone through 16. You're already halfway done. You're halfway done. There are no more phases. And then let's not forget, if you're doing this in Origin mode, there's no way you can get to 100%. There's no way you can get to 100% in Origins mode. because you get less. I think it's how many phases? It's like 8, 7, 6, and then 5. I could be wrong, don't quote me on that. But I know the phases reduce the further you get in there, so you don't have that many more phases to go. I have to assume it's probably like barely able to get to 100% in Origins, if that. But again, don't quote me on that, and I'm not gonna look it up. But yeah, no, Sealed. There's nothing good about this. I mean, all the other treasures, this is like bottom of Sealed. This one should just be absolutely obliterated. This one sucks. The sword sucks. There is no other treasure that I would pick this sword over. No, I'd even pick that one. So yeah, no, the sword, I don't like it. Seal it, just, I kind of want to make another tier that just calls burn it. Just get it out of here. It's so useless. So useless. Going to something that is not useless, the Abacus. Oh, another one of my favorites. Reduces Tears of Blood paid at King Cauldrons by 30%. Fantastic. Increases your Tears of Blood by 1,000 at the start of battle in each phase. This is glorious. Fucking love this treasure. Absolutely adore this treasure. This treasure is immaculate. Because of personal reason, I'm gonna put it in S. I don't think it really belongs in S, but I think it's, I'm usually gonna pick Abacus. There's very few times I'm never gonna pick, you know, there are other options. It's bottom S, don't get me wrong, it's bottom S, it's only an S because of my my bias. It's just really good. When you, especially if you get it early, but even then, even if you don't get it early, it's still good. If this is one of the last options, the other ones are kind of a little lackluster, or you haven't seen or you've used a King Cauldron and you just need a few more phases, you know, 7 or so phases. I think it's objectively A. It's definitely not lower than A, because reducing the Tears of Blood cost at King Cauldrons is great. And then if you're using characters like regular or Abyss, Dongjiao, Hideyoshi, Goemon, I know there's other ones, Gracia, you're using those, they double it, so now you're getting 2,000 Tears of Blood every phase for free, which is just great. I had a misconception that Bronzebird did anything with it, but it's because I was misreading Bronzebird, the other treasure. We'll get to that later. But I did have that misconception. It's just because I'm an idiot. But this one, Abacus, great, fantastic. The next option, we have the Art of War. Makes all unlocked formations available for use, which is fantastic. Oh, it's really great. There is a but though. It's S, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying it's anything less than S, but there are times where I'm not picking Art of War, because I just don't need it. But having said that, you get Art of War and, you know, 2 other shitty options. I mean, you pick Art of War, you get 3 stars, you get 8 gate gold locks, and then 8 trigrams, plus the other ones, but those apparently are realistically, those are the only 3 you need. Now, we're getting to, objectively, the best treasure in the game, Matsukaze. Shortens summoning cooldown for slots 1, 3, and 5 by 50%, and makes danger zones appear more. I mean, do I have to say it, like, just great? It's fantastic. A lot of characters really have great 1, 3s, and 5 moveset to get through their charges or divergence if you're a Samurai Warrior. And so it's just fun to get those summons out quickly, especially if you're getting 12 charm, which you always should be getting 12 charm. Fantastic. Still great. Love Matsukaze. Love seeing it. Ieyasu Tokugawa's golden armor. Increases your maximum health by 30%. Pretty cut and dry there. I think it goes in B. I think B is definitely a great place for it. Maybe bottom A, I don't know. But yeah, golden armor I think is B. An extra 30% is fantastic. From what I understand, especially in Origins, higher difficulties, having that little bit of an extra cushion is the difference between dying in one hit or immediately getting your Endure triggered if you have 5 strength. So, you get hit, and then you can take another hit, potentially, if you're really screwing up. But it's just a little bit of a buffer. I think it's better than Four-Wheeled Chariot. Definitely better than Cherry Blossom Armor. There's just no negatives to it. On to one of my other favorites. The Yohin Timoku T-Bowl. Increases your crystal beads by 3, but you lose all your tears of blood. Now, this one gonna be a little different, I think. This one's hard to rank. It is my favorite, but I'm gonna put it in A. And the reason we're gonna put it in A is it is very situational. Like when it's good, it's good. When it's bad, it's still good. If this is the first option you have right after Onigashira, and you have around, we'll say, 9,000 tears of blood, pretty safe to pick the T-Bowl. I would say to get an extra crystal bead, it's about 3,000. I know the memories of the dead version, you're spending 1,000 tears of blood to get 1, but I think these are worth 3 up, maybe a maximum of 35. Once you have a decent amount, once you're hitting the 15,000 tears of blood, especially once you're getting closer to the 20,000, it's not really worth it. It's not worth it to lose all those tears of blood, especially if you haven't seen a cauldron. If it is the first treasure you're picking, and you're intentionally not needing to keep all your tears of blood for builds and all that, you're picking it right after you've spent all your blood at a cauldron, or picking it if you have Abacus or so. But it is one of those where if you haven't used your tears of blood and you have this option, and let's say you have 25, 30,000 tears of blood and you haven't seen a cauldron yet, not really worth it. I don't think crystal beads, because they're so plentiful, especially if you're doing Origins mode, to get them. Also just picking them up randomly. I never know when I pick them up in a map. I just randomly see at the end of picking a character, be like, oh, you want to pick another one? I'm like, oh, I got a crystal bead, didn't even notice that. When it is good, it is so good to have those 3 extra. On to the next treasure, the bronze bird. This is one that I confused or misread when it came to like Abacus and stuff, or in some of the other ones. So, increases any tears of blood and karma embers rewarded for completing missions by 300%, makes it much more likely for missions to occur. Again, that's nothing but positives. It's very good. I did have the misconception that it was going to buff like Abacus and the other ones down here that give you embers, but it quite clearly says by missions. Maybe it was a little worded weirdly the first time I played it. Belongs. B. I think it's better than Chariot. That's up for debate. I don't really pick. I pick these both as option or as often as the other ones. So. But it is good. I mean, giving you more options for missions. When you get those missions, I mean, now you're getting like 8,000 tears of blood and all those. So it is a good default one where you're like, I don't have any good options. I have the freaking Cherry Blossom Armor and this stupid thing because I can't seal the sword yet and the green book. Let me pick the bronze bird. Or maybe it's one of those instances where you already have a Matsukaze or a red hair and you're like, well, I only got bronze bird and painting, and I know I'm gonna win. I'm not gonna die. I still have my record of sin for recovery or revival. I'll take the bird. On to the next one. Which one is this? Okay. This is where RogueDubz, he kind of went over this one and then the other thing of concealment, or whatever it's called. So, Book of the Art of Concealment. So, bestows you with 3 of one of the following emblem types: Flame, Ice, Bolt, Wind, or Slay. Gives you a 100% chance of acquiring Karma Embers after every 50 enemies defeated. And I thought this, again, paired with Bronze Bird, and only because I misread it, so don't have that mistake like my dumbass. I mean, this was I'm gonna put it in C. Like, it's good. We're gonna put it above the armor though. I mean, it's great, but it is one of those. Maybe if it's the first option you pick, maybe you could go, oh, what element do I want to use in this character? But and use the Art of Concealment to then kind of randomly choose. Because if you're already kind of set in what element or elements that you're using, and you pick this one, and you get 3 random ones, you're like, well, cool, didn't need those. And I think the benefit of getting Karma Embers is not worth it to always pick it. Or to pick it because of the Karma Embers. It's still great. I just hit my mic. It's still great, still wonderful. But there's better options. Getting three random attribute emblems, not great. Not great. Not a fan. Not a fan. It's great when it hits, but you're really kind of 1 out of 5 chance, right? And those odds aren't great. And speaking of one that I do kind of want the odds on, the other one that's counterpart, the 6 secret teachings. This one is just like the last one, but this one bestows you with 3 of the following emblem types of vigor, skill, strength, speed, wisdom, or charm, and it gives the same effect of Karma Embers, getting 100% to acquire them after 50 enemies defeated. This one is much better. Well, it's better than the last, but not that better. It's beat. It is one of those, if it's like the first or second treasure you're picking, if you're getting it early, it gives you 3 random emblems, and none of the emblems, getting 3 of them, again, if you have no other option, that is, and you're just like, okay, I have to pick a treasure, this one, it's not detrimental, where, maybe you don't need the defense, maybe you don't need any more attribute emblems, and you'd only need, well, I call them stat emblems, but they're called ability emblems. And you need more of those. I mean, this one's just great. It gives you, 3, yes, you might get one of the shittier ones. And which ones those are, we'll go over on my next video. It's definitely better than Concealment. 6 Teachings is just better. I think RogueDubz said that they were equal. They are not. They're not even in the same tier. Again, if it's the last treasure you're picking and you already have hit those thresholds, those benchmarks for all the stats, your vigor at 12. Or if you've gotten your charm at 12, getting 3 more of those, well, yes, is great because those are just really good ones. Even skill, like it's one of those, it can be very helpful, but it could also be just like, oh, cool, I already had that stat capped. I already had as many vigor as I needed, or a skill as I needed. Getting 3 more skill is not gonna help me. Those 3 skills were useless. So it is detrimental. There's no other better options, because there's times where it's like, I don't really need any more health. I might as well take the gamble, and at least I'll get a little bit more Karma Embers out of there if I have an option between this and this. Ugh. Now we're gonna get the one that's not good. Bow of Yang Yuyi. The bow increases attack by 400% towards Sin Spewer enemies. Increases defense for the player hero by 100% towards Sin Spewer enemies. Don't think I have to say much. I really don't think I have to say much. This is getting sealed. You're sealing this. It is technically, in my opinion, better than the fucking sword, but it's still not that great. It still is just garbage. You have so many other ways to deal with Sin Spewers, and if you're only getting a defense because of Sin Spewer, which is great because that's usually how I take the most damage, is because I can't see the depth of their fucking ball that comes at me. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna dodge that, and I run right into it. So getting a defense to that might be good, but realistically, if you have an option to seal it, you might as well seal it. Just take it out of the pool. You don't need to see it anymore. I think this was the first thing. I think these 2 are what I have currently sealed. If not, I'm going to go back and make sure. Yeah, it sucks. I'm not going to go into a huge tangent like I did with the sword, because it's not that bad. I mean, it's only positives, but the positives aren't great. They're not great. I mean, technically the sword, I think in theory, at its absolute best case scenario, does have a better benefit in a sense, and can be, corrected or remedied that health decrease, but no. If I had the option between bow or sword, I'm picking the fucking bow. I don't like the sword. And that hate of the sword came out of nowhere, quite frankly. I don't really know where that hate for the sword came from. Now we're getting into another one of my favorites, but it's not that good. The Ding Vessel. Increases the Muso gauge charge amount by 100% and makes peach trees stop appearing. It's gonna get top of B. I don't think it deserves anything higher. Again, if I had any option between 3 of these options, I'm probably picking the Ding Vessel. And this one's only really good, specifically now, because it just makes peach trees stop appearing, so you don't have to worry about them being in the rotation in a sense. Granted, I know we're kind of guaranteed to get crystal saplings now on higher difficulties. I have to assume maybe traversal level 4 and up. Maybe it's only 5 and up. And then the increase to Muso gauge charge is great, but I really feel like everybody's Muso gauge charge is pretty fast. Again, there's not been many issues as of late, especially as of late, where I really need that Muso gauge to charge faster. It's not like, oh great, I gotta go through another phase before my Muso gauge is charged. Where, as opposed to maybe with Transcendence, with these last few updates, I don't know what they did, or maybe it's just how I play now. I'm not really needing that I need the Muso, or the extra help to charge it. But the stopping of peach trees is really good. Not a fan of this one. Mirror of Four Beasts, just like Ding Vessel, increases the symbol gauge charge by 100%, makes King Cauldrons stop appearing. Yeah, this one, again, not a fan of it. While I can see the benefit in, we're gonna put that here, still not a fan of it. I kind of want to put it in D. To be completely fair, I kind of want to put it in D. The making King Cauldron, it does not prevent the very last one before either Lubu or the final fight. It does not take that King Cauldron away, which is good. So you don't have to worry about that, but you no longer see King Cauldrons for the whole run. And getting those every now and then Cauldrons, I don't know. The increase to symbol gauge just doesn't seem worth it, in my humble opinion. I have to assume this is really, really good on those that traversal 6 and the secret difficulty, the secret traversal. Again, from what little I've seen, I say little, but from the few videos I've seen of RogueDubz where he's doing those higher difficulty runs, it's not that he doesn't pick it, he doesn't get the option to, and it still charges as a symbol gauge pretty fast. Like again, there's not, I don't know. I guess I'll have to experience it firsthand. Maybe a week, a month from now, I'll be like, oh my god, that thing's S. That's an S tier. Imperial Seal, better than Matsukaze. You definitely need it if you're doing traversal level 6. Maybe I'll say that. I highly doubt it. Love this one. Rangatai Agarwood? Makes it more likely for brightly shining crystal saplings to appear. Increases the amount of karma embers acquired by 50%. This one I'm unsure if it targets with Bronze Bird, because it just says acquired. And technically you're getting out of the chest, you're acquiring them, so this thing is still good. Obviously there's a point where essentially karma embers will be irrelevant. You have every single character unlocked, you have every single character leveled up. What else more do you need with the embers? I'm not there yet. So every run getting that 30 to 50 or so thousand karma embers just now means, oh cool, I can have this person unlocked all the time. Or transcended, I should say, all the time. So anyways, having said that, I think this is top of A. It's not S, it's top of A. Because brightly shining crystal saplings are fucking great. They're fantastic. Especially if you have this in conjunction with something else, but we're gonna talk, not gonna take that too much into account, but just by itself, having that option to have a brightly shining crystal sapling more than whatever the odds is naturally, because once I have this, I kind of notice I get it fairly often, and especially if you have multiple options to choose from. But if you have some crystal beads, rerolling at that tree is fucking great. You're like, cool, I'm gonna increase my chances of getting the characters I need to fully unlock my build. You know, if you have Lubu in your party and you really need Dio Chan, you're gonna buff his unique attack. Now you have the options of doing that. Or if you need some more Shu and you have a little bit of Shu, or to get other characters unlocked, it just helps. There's nothing wrong with picking this. I think it's great. I think shining crapple trees, shining crystal saplings. I like it. Every time I see it, I usually will pick it. I like it. I think A is definitely warranted for what it can do and the benefit that it can bring to a run. Hiragumo tea kettle? Hiragumo tea kettle? This one. Causes an explosion that deals extra damage which burns nearby enemies after charge attacks. Reduces your max health by 10%. I'm going, and this is kind of on the fly, maybe I should have just made D sealed. Because if it's less than anything in C, like, why are you picking it? Where the benefits are, there's either the negatives are too great, or the benefits, maybe the N, or the benefits are too low. And this is one of them. I think this is a seal-worthy treasure. I really do. We're just gonna go ahead and delete D, I guess. I really do. I don't think I'm gonna put anything in C. Or in D, I should say. Because if it's not at least like a, I guess I'll pick this one. Like, if you have the option to seal it, you might as well seal it, because it's not going to do much for you. Now, a 10% reduction to your health is not as bad as a 20% reduction to your health. So it's not like it's so, you know, the reduction is so bad, or the benefit. It just, yeah. I just don't ever want to pick this thing. Compado, I believe is how it's pronounced. Restores 30% of your health at the start of battle in each phase, which is great. Increases Tears of Blood paid at King Cauldrons by 20%. Not as great. Definitely has its uses, I would say. I don't think I would have thought about it, but RogueDubz mentioned, like, maybe in the Void. I think it's what it's called. I think it's called the Void. But the Torments, basically, whatever they're called. Going through those, having this where you just constantly have that healing at the beginning of each battle can be good, especially once you get to the point where you're at max level, so you're not getting healed when you level up. So in those cases, I think it's good. I think it's more situational, though. I don't think it's necessarily seal worthy realistically, but it's one of those where you really don't want it, quite frankly. And then one last one, the Tsukumo Nazu Tea Caddy. Increases the number of heroes at Crystal Saplings by 1. Gives you a 100% of acquiring Tears of Blood after every 20 enemies defeated. This one is very good. I think it is. I think it's up here. I think it's S. I think it's S, especially again in conjunction with some other things. Getting that extra character in a tree, so you now have 4 options instead of 3 options, and you have some rerolls. You're gaining, you know, a character each time. Like, you're always having more options, and especially in conjunction with characters that already add number of heroes to Crystal Saplings. I think Tea Caddy, Compass could be interchangeable, quite frankly. I think they're pretty much the same. I'm going to put Compass a little higher. I think it's a little better. I do think this is better than Abacus. I think this is where it is. I don't think anything is D, because if anything is D, you're going to seal it. You have the option to, at minimum, seal 4 items, right? And realistically, even if you only have 2 that you can seal, you're sealing the bow because it's absolutely useless, and you're sealing this fucking sword because the 20% hit to your health is just too great. This one, you know, if you had an option between 3 of these, you're just never picking that, right? You're just never picking it. Because you would rather pick any of these because they have more of a benefit than whatever this fucking thing can do. Or what it is noticeable, like, it's not noticeable. It is better than the bow, though. I don't know why I put it below the bow. It is technically better than the bow. Very slightly, though. But yeah. These three, I don't pick them as of late because I don't go in higher traversals. I think it's maybe a little unfair for me to place them because I realistically don't know. I very rarely pick them. Granted, you know, I'm probably picking Imperial Seal over these three, right? Definitely picking it over there. I think Greenbag Book being in top of C, bottom of B, it's probably great for where it needs to go. Mirror of Four Beasts probably deserves to be, again, bottom of B. Imperial Seal maybe could be argued to be at the bottom of A. I think RogueDubz put it in S. Because, yeah, you had to get hit to get that charge. Again, I mean, just watching him do Handsome Origins, whatever the character's name is, Jing Zhao, I think. Zhao Zhang? The guy with the rocks. Him having that, taking a hit, which was pretty significant, mind you. Not intentionally taking a hit. Well, at least trying not to intentionally take a hit from the boss, more so take a hit from the ads. You know, he was only getting hit for a little bit, and then he was healing when he was using a symbol. Anyways, and this is, yeah, I don't think it would really change. I mean, some of these are probably interchangeable depending on run for B and C, even in A. S, these are ones kind of almost irrelevantly. I'm taking these every single time out of every single time. I don't know how RogueDubz did this in like 30 minutes. I'm a yapper, so I know people are going to have issues. I mean, these, I'm holding judgment because, again, I don't use them. I don't see the importance of a symbol gauge too much, or the charge worthy too much in Traversal level 5. The healing aspect, I get the appeal of it. It is great. I just don't think it's that strong to, I don't know. You know, I can imagine. But then I also think if a treasure is only good because of one traversal level, or the highest level, is it a good treasure? Or is it just, that's when you notice it, or when you need to rely on the thing that it does? That makes sense. Like if painting was only good in traversal level 6, it wouldn't be A. If that was all, it gives you a revive, there was no other revives in the entire game, traversal level 6 was so astronomically hard that you needed to make sure you had a revive, because you just knew, or maybe even bugged or so, but you just knew you needed that revive to account for not playing absolutely perfect. Where you're like, I'm gonna get hit, but if I can get hit closer to the end like that, that means I still have the revive, all that stuff. Then I don't think this would be A, because if it's so situational, it's not good. But that's my point of view. I don't really like the mindset of, the meta of this difficulty is this, therefore this item is the best item in the game. Kind of like in Fire Emblem, where, you know, this class objectively sucks, but when you play at the highest difficulty and you do this specific thing, this class is the strongest class in that difficulty, therefore they're the strongest class overall. I think that's kind of stupid. I'm not explaining it very well, but that's just why I'm kind of putting these here, because I don't think they're worth it. And if they're only worth it in they're not worth it in Traversal level 5. And if they're not worth it there, they're definitely not worth it in anything less than. And if they're only worth it in Traversal 6 or Traversal Secret Traversal, Anyways, long enough. Here's an outro. As always, I hope you have a good rest of your day, week, month, or year, depending if you want to come back to this channel or not. And if you do, please hit that subscribe button. I'd very much appreciate it. Toodles.